welcome back to my podcast. My name is Elisa, and if this is your first time joining me, welcome. And if this is more than your first time, or this is you returning, welcome back. I'm so glad that you decided to come back and hang out with me again. It has been a bit since I have chatted with you guys and caught up on all of the things that I've been working on, and there is a lot. It's definitely not like overwhelming, but I feel like I have very high ambitions this year for my knitting and all the things that I want to do, and it's so this has just been like the first start, and I kind of like know that January through February, maybe even March, is going to be a little bit slower paced than what I want to do towards the rest of the year, but that's just simply because I am banking up, in a sense, to make some really nice purchases for the channel. I want to get some really nice lighting, and then also I want to be able to like have like a massive yarn haul, because who doesn't love yarn hauls? So I have some things in the meantime that I think will keep me busy, but I am very excited for the springtime because I think that's when I can like go all in crazy, like, I don't know, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Anyway, so I guess the first thing that I should start with is my finished objects, which I have two new ones, I believe. I think the other one I've already shown you. But the first one is I have another sock, and this sock is made with Cascade Yarns Heritage Prints, and it makes this really pretty stonewash yarn. If you've seen my other videos, you know how much I love this yarn. I love the pattern, and I followed the same My Favorite Socks pattern by, I think it's like Karen Lehrer. I don't remember, but I'll leave it in the description. That could very well be pretty wrong. But it is just a simple vanilla sock, and I have a heel flap and then a gusset, and then I do the heel turn, obviously, or the heel turn and then the gusset. And then I originally made this sock a little bit too long, and then because this wool is superwash, I think it's 75% superwash, 25% polyamide. Because it's superwash, it obviously stretches, like superwash grows. That's just a common, very well-known thing. But I decided to still knit it to like the size of my foot because I didn't think it was gonna grow that much, which sounds super naive because I feel like that's something I've heard everybody say. So it's a little bit large. In fact, when I put it on the sock blocker, I showed my husband, and he was like, "What did you do?" It's like, I made it too big. It still works though, like it'll still fit. Just for reference, I have a wool sock underneath it, and like it still fits. Let me just show you my feet, guys. It's a really soft yarn. I do really love it, and I'm working up the second one, which I'll get to. But yeah, this is a very nice, lovely sock, and I actually cannot believe, so this sock, I finished like the leg and then probably this much in like a day, and then it took me like 3 weeks to finish the rest. I was so unmotivated to work on this, but it's okay, it's whatever. I need some coffee. This is just my nice morning coffee in a wonderful birthday mug I got from a friend back in high school that I've had this mug for like 4 years now, maybe 5. I will take her with me forever. It's so pretty. Like, I don't know if you can see, it's got like gold specks all over. I don't know, I like it. I also am enjoying a snickerdoodle. The next one is this really pretty brioche headband, and again, if you've watched my last video, I had made another one that was a cotton and mohair held together just for fun, see how it would turn out. This one is made with acrylic yarn, and it is like the Joann's Spice yarn, I believe is what it's called. And it's 100% acrylic. And I honestly love this color. I made a cardigan with it, which I don't know where that cardigan went, and it's kind of breaking my heart because that was the first finished garment ever made. And I don't know where it is. And that just makes me feel awful because I think I left it in Florida. But what can you do? I still have some leftovers of this yarn, and this is the Dreo pattern. So this is again, a brioche style headband, and this is very nicely and quickly knit up. It was a great start to learning and trying out brioche, and when I finished it, I was at a Christmas Eve lunch with family, and I didn't have my darning needle, so I was like, I need to seam this up though because I want to put it on. But I had a crochet hook, so I just did like a crochet hook seam, which is not working very well, and it's starting to come out, so I'm gonna have to fix that at some point. Let me put it on quick for you. I wore it when my husband and I went on a hike underneath my hat, and it did a really nice job of just like keeping this section warm. But yeah, my hairstyle does not look very good with this right now. So that is the Dreo headband, and I might make some more, maybe, I don't know. I tend to make the first section way too long for where the seam is supposed to be. Like, it's not in the middle at all, if you can't tell. So maybe I'll try and do that again and perfect it, but I actually followed the pattern all the way this time before I kind of like switched off and made it my own to make sense to me. But it required me to have to decrease and then increase a stitch, whereas this, I flipped the stitches so that way you were knitting instead of slipping, and that helps you underneath the twist, so that way when you line it back up it's the same and you can knit across or like do the brioche stitch across, whereas before the pattern wasn't gonna work. So I followed it all the way, and who would have thought, it works out perfectly, it looks very nice, and yeah. So that's all I have for finished objects. I think I just want to go straight to whips because I have some very exciting whips. So the first thing I should probably talk about is this beautiful, you probably already know, Ingrid sweater that is so close to being done, and I love this sweater so much, and I can't even, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself when I finish it. This has been like my love and joy. I have been working on this day and night, mostly the night when I come home from work, and I love her. She's so pretty, and she is just, she's been a labor of love. So as you can see, I am just working on the last sleeve, and the unfortunate thing is I ran out of yarn. So let's talk about the yarn that I'm making this with. Obviously, this is the Ingrid sweater by Petite Knit, and I made it in this really pretty lavender color. You can see my swatch hanging on display here. So I made it in this really pretty lavender color, and it is 100% merino wool, the Easy Care Classic by Mayflower, and I don't have any more of it. Like, this is the last bit that I have. Okay, I do have a little bit more, but let me explain. I think I ordered like 10 skeins of yarn, which according to the pattern said was going to be plenty for my size. However, I think either A, my gauge switched, because originally I was knitting just slightly under. So I think either A, my gauge switched, or B, which is probably more likely, I am knitting too much. Like, I think I made a little bit too much on this section, and the bottom section here. I think I might have knit it too much, which I know I extended this because I thought the sleeve was just gonna be way too short, and that might, you know, come and bite me in the butt when I block it, because I tend to forget that things grow when you block. Mostly because I didn't really block before, I guess. I don't know. Things tend to grow once you block them, so don't knit necessarily to the size you want. And now I'm like realizing, oh my gosh, this sleeve is gonna be massive. Like, huge. It's probably gonna be too long, but it's okay. So anyway, I was getting to like one of the last few skeins that I had, and I noticed it was damaged. It was cut in like a few different sections. I'll insert a picture of what it looked like, and I was actually really disappointed. At first I thought it was where like I was knitting away. I added the skein of yarn and then I was knitting away, and then I realized like there was a tail, and I thought, oh, it's just one of those things where they add in a little bit extra because they didn't get to the right weight. So I was like, okay, that's fine. It's only like one. It's a little bit annoying, but whatever. But then I kept going with that skein, and I realized it was cut even more, and it was on the inside. So there were like 3 different strands of yarn wrapped around that were cut, so they were like this long of pieces, and I was like, that's kind of disappointing. So I sent a picture. Hobby was super nice and super helpful about it, and they're actually sending me a replacement yarn. So I think hopefully I'll be able to finish the sleeve with that, and I thought that kind of worked out a little bit nicely. Otherwise I would have just had to buy more yarn, and not that that's an excuse, but you know, it would have been a nice excuse to buy more yarn. Anyway, they are sending the yarn now, and I think it's somewhere, I don't even know if it's gotten to the US yet, maybe, I don't know, it was like a week ago. But I will admit their packaging, their shipping comes very quickly. But yeah, this has just been wonderful. I've learned so much from this sweater. I literally love this, like, I love her. I'm gonna baby her forever. I just can't stop admiring it every time I lift it up, and I can't wait to put it on and then take cute pictures, and then like, yeah. Anyway, I'm holding it with mohair. This is the Hobby Diablo, which is an acrylic wool or acrylic mohair and polyamide, I think? I can't remember. But it's this really pretty lavender color, which I'm going to have plenty left over. I'm not even going to use the rest of this, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I might, maybe. I doubt it. And then I have 2 other skeins, so it'll be interesting what I decide to do, because I also have 3 other skeins in a dark gray. But maybe I can find something to use it with, otherwise, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out when I get there. But this is a really heavy, super warm sweater. Like, the few times I put it on, it is a little bit scratchy, and I'm pretty sure that's because of the mohair. But I'm hoping that once I block it, it'll be much, much better. At least that's what I've heard. So I'm not gonna like judge it till it's like done and completely good to go. And like, if I have to get, okay, can we talk about Tiffany Lou for a second? I am like obsessed with her white turtleneck that she wears underneath all of her sweaters, and I need one in my wardrobe, in my life, because it is just so stinking cute, and it looks perfect with like every sweater, and I want that. I want that staple turtleneck that you wear underneath everything, and you know it'll be fine, and it'll keep you from not wearing your scratchy sweaters, and I need it. I need it very badly. So I'm gonna be on the search for a really nice cute staple long sleeve turtleneck, because that is perfect. Anyway, yeah, that's really what I have to say. I, again, adore this sweater and the pattern, and it's just been, it's been such a fun, like, learning experience for me. Like, I learned the tubular, Italian bind off. I learned how to do mock cabling. I learned the double moss stitch. I learned short rows, which is incredible to me. I was so scared to start this pattern because it had short rows. I did not need to be scared. I learned how to do eyelets, like, beautiful. I love this sweater. I can't wait to block it and finish it. Hopefully I can finish it soon, because like having it just wait around to be knit is so sad. Because I'm so close. Like I probably can finish the rest of the sleeve in like a day, maybe a day and a half if I am like in the evening. Anyway, this is my beautiful Ingrid sweater and I cannot wait for her to be done. She's lovely. That is the first whip that I'm working on. The next one is the sister to the sock that I had finished. So I have casted on, I knit the band too long. Oh, I might have. It's okay. I think I knit the band a little bit too long. I thought I made it 15 stitches as well, but this one is probably not 15, or this is more than 15. But it's okay. It's fine. These are just going to be my own socks anyway. Anyway, it's in this beautiful cake. I had to recake this because in the cake that it came in, or the skein that it came in, it was wound really strangely. It was like cool, but it was super easy for it to unravel and fall apart. And because I take this with me in my purse, it shuffles around a ton and it was getting messy. So I finally just like, it was so annoying. But I pulled it out from the middle, or tried to, and then started caking it on the opposite end. It took me like forever because it kept getting knotted. And I finally was able to just cake it up, which it looks really pretty. I see why people talk about like how satisfying it is when they get their cakes made up. But it is, again, the Cascade Yarns Heritage Prints Superwash Sock Wool. And it makes a really pretty self-striping pattern. And again, with that, like, the best way that I describe it is that stone-washed pattern. Here's a quick reminder. Super pretty. And yeah, I actually made a pair in like a blue, which I gave to my mother-in-law because it was too small. Now I think that if I blocked it, it would have fit me, but it's fine. I'm a generous person. And yeah, so these are really nice. I hopefully can get them done quicker than I got the other ones done, but being that these have already been on the needle for a week and a half, maybe two, it's definitely been like 2 or 3 weeks now. Probably not. I don't know what made me think that as soon as I casted those off that I'd be okay to cast on the sister, because I was so bored and tired of working on that sock. No, that was a bad idea. But I did make a decision to help me fix that with that issue that I have. Not that I mean, I don't really have second sock syndrome. I just don't have enough time or patience to knit all of the socks that I want to. Because I finished a pair, and then I finished 2 single ones. One because I thought these were going to be originally gift knits, otherwise I would have finished the sister sock to the last one that I made, the Craggy Shore sock, which is, I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, otherwise I think I would have had it and been fine. But I decided to knit this in case I gave it as a gift, and I decided against the gift, which is why I've slumped. But yeah, I had to recake this, and now it's really nice and easy to work with. Been knitting on this one. I'll probably go, I think it was like 40 rows for the leg, and then I'm not going to make it as big as that one just because I want it to fit a little bit better. But yeah, I think I'll be able to make this one much nicer. So that is that width that I have, and then I have started another one, and this is going to be a garter stitch blanket. If you have seen, let me see if I can't get some better light on this. This is a garter stitch blanket, and it is I'm following the pattern on, I want to say Pearl Soho's website. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a faded garter stitch blanket, and it has like this fake eye cord edge in a sense. Really all that you're doing is just knitting two constantly instead of doing garter stitch, and it gives it this like pretty nice edging. I don't mind it, and it's easier than going back and doing eye cord, but I still might, because why not? So you basically just like make one right and make one left throughout the whole blanket, and then it just keeps getting longer and longer until you get it to the width that you want, and then I assume you just knit straight. But it's color blocked. So I was very kindly gifted a gift card to our local like fabric shop, and I thought that was really nice and kind. What was it? Joann's. I think it was gifted to Joann's. I thought it was very nice and kind because my mother and my mother-in-law gave me one, so I had lots of money to spend on yarn. So I decided, because of that, I really wanted to finally make a blanket. So as you can tell, I have this giant Pound of Love from Lion Brand yarns. It's 100% acrylic. I got it in this pretty like maroonish, garnet-ish color. It's like heathered. Gosh, this lighting is so awful. But yeah, it's a heathered base, and this is the first and the last color that I'm gonna use in the pattern. The next colors that I have that'll be in this blanket are this pretty like mauve color. I have another one. Okay, so this is in the color Cinnabar. This is in the color Mocha. It's like this pretty brown cream. And then the last color is in Vanilla. So, as you can tell, I have lots of yarn to work on this blanket, which is good because I'm gonna need it. My husband laughed so hard when I brought them home. He had no idea that you could get that much yarn. Yeah, I have really just enjoyed, I started this last night, like I've worked on it for maybe like 2 hours or so, and I was just working away. It's such a meditative, mindless knit. I really like it, and I think it'll be a nice blanket because it'll be like a staple in a sense. So it's super like uncomplicated, nothing to really have to worry about, and I don't know, it's just growing very peacefully, I would say. So I'm super excited to work this one up. And I'm also, yeah, I can't wait to have a blanket. I really wanted to knit one, but it's like, that's a lot of yarn, and yarn's expensive. So I thought, okay, if I get gift cards, I'm gonna do it, and I'm just gonna buy the yarn to make a blanket, because otherwise I won't do it on my own. I just can't. So here we are. And yeah, it's just a really pretty garter stitch going to be blanket. So this will probably be one of those, like what I do when I'm needing a mindless knit, like watching a movie or a TV show, which is what we were doing last night. And then maybe car rides or just something quick. Until it starts to grow, then it's going to be a little bit harder to take with me places. But for now, I'm just going to be happily knitting away with my garter stitch blanket. So yeah, it's going to be color block, so it'll be fun and nice. And this is a worsted weight, just wanted to say that. And I don't have the label for this color, but I will put on the screen here what color this actually is, so that way you can see. Okay, give me 1 second. I need to see if I can't make this lighting a little bit better. It's not so harsh. Okay, I think that helps a little bit. Again, I thought I was gonna get out and record enough before the sun started becoming super harsh, but I did not. I got distracted. I think that's all I have for current whips, which is exciting. but I do have lots of plans for more. So with that being said, I think I should start with acquisitions because that's the best place to lead. So I have to okay. I have decided to make myself one of those lovely rhombus hats that I have so kindly gifted to people this year. And I'm going to do it in this really pretty, what is this color? It's color 6181. And it's Barocco Chunky again. And it is this like pretty maroonish, red, garnety color. And if you haven't already caught my drift, I want to make an FSU hat in that rhombus one and then order a patch as well to stick on the hat. And then I can have my own really nice, pretty rhombus FSU hat. I love this pattern, guys. I haven't said it enough. It's such a nice knit and it turns out beautifully. And the crown of the hat, ugh, I don't have words. It's so pretty. I love how it turns out and it looks like a flower or a spiral or something, but it's just gorgeous and I just admire it all the time. So I'm gonna make myself one and I'm really excited because again, I was like so happy with how the hats turned out that I gave. I was so jealous that I couldn't keep them for myself. And I was just like, okay, you know what? Just go make yourself one. Just go make yourself one. It's fine. So here are the skeins of yarn that I have. And again, Barocco Chunky, Vintage Chunky is a machine washable blend. It is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. Here's the label if you want to see. And yeah, it is just this beautiful color. It was the closest one I could find to the color that I was looking at and looking for. It's a little bit off, but garnet's a hard color to match. So overall, I'm very happy. I'm probably gonna cast this on, I might even cast it on today for all I know. I just want like a ton of whips, so that way whatever I'm in the mood for, I can just reach for it and be happy and work on it. And I have plenty of needles to do so might as well have a ton of whips, right? I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out if I'm a finish one project at a time person or I want as many whips on the needles as possible. I thought I was a finish one project at a time person, but lately I've been in the mood for like different things because you realize that the longer the project is, the less you want to work on it, unless it's like the Ingrid sweater. I love that. But you just kind of get bored of knitting the same thing. At least I do lately, which is why I don't know why I knit the second sock up. I should have cast on the other Craggy Shore sock because I actually really am excited about that one and she's beautiful. If you haven't seen in my last video, I love how that sock came out and I need the match because I want beautiful socks. Anyway, so I got this at my somewhat local yarn store. It's called Knittin' from the Heart, and the ladies there are always so sweet and so helpful and like super kind, and they always are just super really nice to talk to when you get there. And I love the idea of their yarn store and what they're working for. So I happily go and support them when I can. They are a little bit outside of my town, so it's really it's where my mother-in-law lives, and if we're visiting, I always try and go to that yarn store because my city doesn't have one that I have found yet. Maybe that'll change eventually at some point, but for now, I have to travel elsewhere. So I went and picked these up, and I picked up some other things too, but they weren't yarn. The next acquisition I have is I got some more yarn from Joann's with the gift card, and I thought this was actually really cool. It is the Lion brand, I think it's a newer yarn, but it's respun, so it's 100% recycled polyester, and it's pretty soft. I've never worked with 100% polyester, but I don't know, I think this was kind of cool. It's 100% post-consumer recycled polyester, and it's this really pretty dark purple, which I've noticed when I brought it home, I took a look at my yarn and I was like, I think I like purple. Which is funny because I used to like purple as a kid. That used to be like my favorite color. And then it switched to like a blue. And then it switched to like an olive green. Like, I feel like colors just switch with what you're in the mood for. Lately it's been purple. And I think I chose this one because of like winter and it being cooler and me wanting a cool toned sweater. So that's what I'm planning on making with this. So it is 100% recycled polyester. This is the bonus bundle, and it's a 10 ounce skein. You get 284 grams, and it's 658 yards or 602 meters. That is a lot of yarn in my opinion. So I'm planning on making just a very simple, basic raglan. I've thought of a few different patterns. I don't know for sure. One is the classic. Yeah, I think it's a really nice yarn. It's a worsted weight or a medium, but I think it's a little bit on the thinner side, maybe. But I got a few of these, so I really want to make just a really nice, simple, classic purple raglan. And I'm really excited about it. So that's my goal. The next thing that I have is, that's all the yarn acquisitions I have. I do have some other things that are a little bit more exciting. So when I was at the local yarn store, I was like really in the mood to cast on another sock, but I had it already casted on the sister sock to that, my favorite pair of socks. And I was like, I don't have another pair of sock needles. I'd casted this one on. So I was like, I'll just go buy some more because I like socks and I want to keep knitting socks. So I decided to get another cable. I got the 22 inch one, 55 centimeters by the Chagu red twist, red cable, whatever it is, red lace interchangeable set. I think I'm just gonna build my own at this point, but I got the 22 inch because before I think I got the 36 inch, and then I was like, I kind of want to go down a little bit on a needle size because I want a tighter fabric in a sense. So I was like, okay, let's go for here they are, the 2.25. I have a pair of 2.5. I didn't do enough research to realize that these are the minis, and that needle is not gonna fit on the cables that I have. So when I got home, I was kind of like, I can't cast on. But instead of like going back and getting a different cable, I just decided to just order it on Amazon. I was already home. I didn't want to go back. It was already getting close to their close. So I gave myself an excuse to buy more needles on Amazon. So I bought another 2.5, which maybe it's a bad idea to have two of the same size needle. Maybe I should have gone for like a 2.75 or something like that. But I decided to just go with it because I know the needle and I wasn't about to like order something that didn't fit. So I have this. I'll be able to cast on another sock with these, but I'm still out of cable for this one because I had ordered it on Amazon, but when I received it, Amazon did not send me the cable for needles. They sent me a serpentine belt, which is part of your vehicle, not at all anything related to knitting. So I had to go and like exchange that and request them to send me the correct item because I really do want a cable to match these needles. Because I have plans to knit up this beautiful skein. So this was that really lovely hand-dyed yarn that I bought in November, I think. And like, look how pretty she looks in a cake. I had originally caked her up and she was way too tight. Like I was getting nervous because I wasn't knitting her up, and you don't want to cake things up if you weren't planning on knitting them. Or at least you shouldn't. I don't know. I guess something about losing elasticity is what I've heard. Anyway, so I recaked her so she was nice and loose and squishy, and look how pretty she looks. Oh my gosh. She is a, what's the word? A show stealer? I don't remember. But yeah, she's beautiful and breathtaking, and she speaks for herself. I'm personifying my yarn. And yeah, so I'm going to knit these up. I thought it's a fingering weight, but like, I thought it was thinner than the other one that I'm using. So I was like, I want to go down a needle size. And I like was torn apart with this yarn because for a while I like wanted originally to knit up socks with it. And I was like, I want just a beautiful, sorry if you can hear that dog below me. I think that's my neighbor's dog. I want a beautiful pair of socks. And then I got to thinking like, okay, this yarn was like 20 something dollars. I think it was like 25. I don't know if I want a pair of $25 socks on my feet. Like, that's a lot of money to have walking around. But then I was like, okay, maybe I can knit a shawl, but I'm not really a shawl person. And the more that I was looking at the patterns for one skein shawls, I just wasn't as, like, I didn't want this yarn for any of those. I thought they'd look nice in like solids or heathered. I think they'd be beautiful, but I'm too scared with a self-striping yarn. So I talked to my husband because he is a wonderful person and great support, and he was like, you can absolutely wear $25 pair of socks on your feet. You will be fine. Like, do what you originally wanted to do because you obviously had some sort of passion or vision for it. Like, don't second guess yourself, basically. So now I'm gonna happily knit up these socks, but I don't know what pattern I want. I want them to be like, I want a pretty cabled, like super intricate pattern, but I don't want to take away from like the beautifulness of this yarn. So it's like maybe a vanilla sock would be good, but I'm just kind of tired of vanilla socks. I don't know. I want like something subtle to where you can still see the pattern, but also you can appreciate the yarn. I don't really want something loud and crazy, but I want it to be like really dainty and pretty and like, I don't know, just beautiful. That's what I want. So I'm on the search for a sock pattern like that. If you have any idea what I'm trying to say, please let me know below in the comment sections and maybe help me find a sock pattern that works perfectly with this yarn, which is, by the way, the unique fingering self-striping yarn. It is a 100% superwash sock yarn, and actually it might be 75-25 again. 75% superwash and 25% polyamide. But it is hand dyed and self-striping, and it's just beautiful. I love those colors. Okay, I need to stop talking about that one. I also got another, so my interchangeable needle set right now that I have is the Clover, and it was gifted to me last year at Christmas time. So I plan on continuing to use it now. I do want to eventually get another interchangeable set, possibly metal because these ones are bamboo, and I think it'd be cool. Like the Chagu, however you say it, their needle set I think is really pretty, and I think I could do that one, but I'm just not in any way ready to buy another needle set. That is quite the investment that I'm not ready to make yet. So I just bought another cord that I can use for the blanket because I don't want to not be able to knit sweaters because I have a blanket on the needles, if you know what I mean. So I just picked this up as well. And this is, I think, a 48-inch cord. Yeah. So I honestly, like, people are like, oh, why would you have Clover? Because it's affordable, and I've still been able to make beautiful things with it, and it's working just fine. Again, like I said, I do want to branch out and get more and have a little bit nicer cables because yes, these are kinky and they're not very nice to work with, and you can't ever make them not circle around and just awkward to work with. But I make it work, And I'm happily making my sweaters and my socks. Well, my socks aren't on those needles, but my sweaters and my blankets and my hats and everything else that I've made with those. So I'm okay for now. And who knows, once I get my nicer set, maybe I'll be kind enough to gift it to some of my siblings because they have shown interest in wanting to knit. So I was gonna show my older sister how to at Christmas, but she ended up like cutting up her thumb or something like the week before, so she was unable to use her hands. I think that's all I have for, oh no, I have one more acquisition. So I finally got a sock blocker. Like, how fun. It's I think it's the Silly Monkey sock blocker. I got it off Amazon when I was ordering the one the stuff that I was using. It nicely hangs in your closet, and these are how they look. This is the medium size, and yes, this is my Craggy Shore sock. And you can see why I love this pattern so much. It is so, so cool and unique, and I love it. It's literally beautiful. And this is made with 100% wool, the Hobby sock yarn, rainbow sock yarn wool. And I have some more that I'm planning to knit up at some point of this yarn, different patterns though. I do need to knit up the sister sock, like I said, which I will cast on now that I have more needles. Yeah, so these just kind of hang on their own, and I just stick it in my closet. It's nice and out of the way, and I have the small, medium, and large size, so I can make lots of socks for lots of people in my life if I wanted. Yeah, I don't know. There's something so satisfying about seeing socks on a blocker. Like, that can't just be me, right? Like, look how pretty it comes out once it's been blocked. I like it. But yeah, these are my Silly Monkey sock blockers. And yeah, I got these and they came in the mail, and it was pretty nice to use, so happily blocking away. Hopefully it'd be cool to like have lots of socks on them, and then, oh, that'd be so artsy. Anyway, that's all that I have for acquisitions. Now let's talk about some of the plans that I haven't talked about yet. This is leftover paint box yarn that I made my Lempy sweater with, and I think I have like 4 different skeins. And I've gotten lots of great opinions and recommendations of what to do with my leftover yarn because I have quite a bit. And I was given the idea to like make a vest, do like a scrappy project, all sorts of fun stuff like that. But I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna knit up a super chunky hat, because who doesn't love chunky hats? And I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. I'm thinking I might gift it because I just want to get some of the yarn out of my stash that I know I'm not gonna use. So, and I know I really don't love this color, and I'm not gonna wear a vest in it. I just know I won't. Even though the vest might be really cute and pretty and I'll enjoy knitting it, I just don't think I'll wear it. I don't know. It's hard enough with the sweater. I like the sweater, but I don't know. And maybe I should like no, I'm not taking back the sweater. I was gonna say like maybe I need to elongate it because it's ever so slightly too cropped, but that would require literally taking off a lot, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to make a super chunky hat with this, and I think I have 4 left. I only brought 1 in the room with me. This is an acrylic yarn that I got off of Lovecrafts. And it's 65 yards, 3.5 ounces. So not a ton of yarn, but it'll be enough to knit up a chunky hat. The next thing that I have planned, well, I pretty much told you all my plans with the other yarn. I think that's really all I have right now that I'm planning on casting on at least this month, if not, like, yeah, this month. I want to cast on all of those projects. I don't know if I'm going to finish them all. I know I'm going to finish the Ingrid sweater. Granted, I have to get the yarn first. But the Ingrid sweater will be done probably by the next podcast if I get the yarn. The blanket, that's probably going to be like a whole year of knitting unless I just feel really like motivated to get it done and have it. The hat I want to finish this month because I want the hat. It's a cute hat. If I don't finish it this month, I'm finishing it next. And then the purple sweater, I think I'm going to cast on, but I don't know how long that will take me. The Ingrid sweater, well, I casted it on in November. And then I stopped knitting on it like entirely after I cast on because I wanted to get my gift knits out of the way and I didn't want to like be cramming for time. And then I finished my gift knits and knit on it most of December. No, not most of December, like a week or so of December, and then most of January so far. So I've pretty much gotten that done in like 3-ish weeks of heavy knitting. So maybe it'll take me another 3 weeks, but that's supposed to be a super nice, simple raglan. So it'll probably take me less time, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that's all the fun info and stuff that I'm working on that I have for you. Thank you so much for sticking around, hearing me out, listening to me ramble. I really hope you enjoy these videos and this podcast. As I've said before, I just really love knitting and I just want to knit, and it's something that I very happily spend my time doing. And yeah, I can't wait to see you on the next one. Let me know below which sweater you're most excited for, or what you are in the mood to cast on, what things you're working on, what close finish objects you've got. And yeah, some pattern recommendations for socks would be really nice. With that being said, I hope you have a great time knitting and that you have happiness in that project that you're working on, and that you just feel ambitious to do whatever you want to do with your knits. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Bye!